will start Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024, 7 p.m. Council meeting. Stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father God, thank you so much for this new year and for new opportunities. We ask for your continued protection upon our police, our fire, our service, our schools, and our administration. We ask this in your Son's name. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton. Ms. Raleigh, roll call, please.
Ms. Grazia?
Here.
Mr. Hamer?
Here.
Mr. Scholes?
Here.
Mr. Smolik?
Here.
Ms. Simons?
Here.
Mr. Ziegler?
Here.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Here. Okay, on to the reading and approval of minutes of December 18th, 2023 work session. Need a motion to approve?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
And Sue. Any questions, changes? Ms. Raleigh?
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Mr. Scholes?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yeah.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
On to the approval of the minutes for the December 18th, 2023 council meeting. Motion, we need a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
A second.
Mr. Fenstermaker, Ms. Grazia. Any questions or changes? Ms. Raleigh?
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Mr. Scholes?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
Okay, on to department reports. Chief Hutton.
Thank you, Mr. Smolik. We finished the year with just under 1,400 calls. This past year, 625 EMS transports, which is very busy for us. I'll be working on all the details and stats, and I'll get that out for next meeting. Our engine that has been out of service, I've been talking about for the last couple of meetings. We were able to get that back yesterday, put it in service today, so it's back on the road. Looks great, paint looks great. Other than that, I'm open for any questions.
Thank you, Chief Hutton. Any questions for Chief Hutton? Chief Hutton, what was the delay on the fire engine? That was, we were waiting for a part or a component, correct?
That engine was out for paint, for
Paint,
warranty
that's right.
paint, so
Warranty
just a
paint
matter
work,
of getting
correct.
it back together.
Oh, okay, thank you. The other equipment, everything seems to be operating fine? Fine and dandy?
For the most part. Our engines obviously are getting older. We had some issues over the weekend. We had to borrow an engine from Willoughby. We still have it for the time being, but the two American LaFrances are getting up there in age, and it's getting difficult to find parts. So we'll be working on getting some specs done on that this year, and hopefully discuss it through the budget process. A new engine.
So we have a truck out of service right now?
Correct.
How's that work with the city of Willoughby and sharing trucks? I've never heard that one.
Something fire departments do quite a bit. I know service departments share equipment. We've loaned vehicles out many times to different departments, and it's a matter of carrying the insurance, get that vehicle added on to each community's insurance. If we loan one to Willoughby Hills or Willoughby, they have to add that onto their policy for the time that they have it, is how
I
it
believe
works.
we've rented at least, we've lent out to Willoughby Hills a couple times the last 2 years, I believe, right?
Yeah, several times we have loaned out. We don't have to receive very often, but when we do, we have great relationship where we're able to make this happen pretty quick. So right now, one of our engines is down with the drive shaft issue. Hopefully we'll have that back in service Friday, maybe early next week, but then we should have all three engines back in service.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any other questions for Chief Hutton? Thank you. Chief McAllister.
Thank you, Council President Smolik. Just wanted to wish everyone a happy new year and really thank the community for all their generosity over the last month. All the food and cards and everything that were dropped off was just outstanding to see the support from everyone. We're getting ready to start preparing our annual report for council. Just looking at some of the numbers from last year, and these aren't including December's numbers. We were up from 22 we had almost 11,000 calls. We're anticipating about 15,000 calls this year. Our arrests were up from 92 to 138, and our reports were up from 589 to 720. So it's going to be quite a report going in, and now that we're at full staff, we're really anticipating seeing some even more activity out of the officers. So I'm excited for 2024.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief McAllister? Thank you, Chief. Mr. Fernaro.
Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. Quick winter update. We have some snow coming in tonight and over the weekend, so please prepare yourselves for that. The mild winter that we've been having, supposedly, we had 7 events last year up until Christmas. This year we've had 5. Last year we used roughly 700 tons of salt. This year we're at 550. Those are rough numbers. We go off of our drivers estimating how much they put in their trucks, so don't hold me to the exact numbers. But for those that think it's been pretty mild, we're pretty close to where we were last year. And
Mr. Bernard, how are the new trucks working out?
the new trucks are working great. We haven't had that heavy snow yet, but they're doing exactly what we thought they would do. It was. That completes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Fernaro. Any questions for Joe? Equipment all up and running here? Plow equipment all up and running good?
All up and running.
Thank you much. Mr. Courtney.
Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone. I'll start with 24 streets. We're still working on getting the street list and preliminary estimates for 2024 down. I know that was my report at the last meeting. Holidays got in the way this time around. Old Town Sewers, just a reminder, the bid opening for Phase 2 is January 17th. Currently, there are 11 plan holders for that project, so it should be a good competitive bid. No updates on the bridge projects. Stormwater projects, no update on those. And we talked about Parks Farm legislation in the work session. So anyone have any questions for me? I'm happy to answer.
Any questions for Mr. Courtney? Mr. Fernaro?
Yes, please. Can we schedule a service committee meeting in the near future?
Okay.
Nothing pressing. We could wait a few weeks, maybe a month out, but update on PMG.
Okay. Mr. Fenstermaker is now the chairperson for that, so get something together and put an email out, see what works out well.
How soon do you need it?
Still need some time, especially being winter, so a couple, 3 weeks, maybe a month out.
So you want to do it the first week in February, our first meeting? We can do it prior?
That'll work.
Would that be okay?
Yep.
So I'll ask that we schedule it before the council meeting.
First meeting of February then?
Yeah, half hour good, 6:30 or 6? You need a lot of time?
We could kick off small and then work into it, but you know it's gonna be pretty detailed.
Okay, we do 6 or 5:30. 5:30.
6 will work. 6 will work. Thanks.
6:30. Come on, I want to get you more. I want more time. All right, that's fine. 6:40.
What time is the first meeting?
6:40.
6:40. Okay. Ms. Raleigh wanted to
I
double and
understand.
triple check.
Right. I don't blame her.
Thought I heard wrong.
I'm sorry. I thought we said 6.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. 6 will be good.
Thank you.
6 p.m.
Confused.
It is.
Correct.
Central.
At the 6 o'clock, first meeting of February, Service Department, Service Committee pertaining to the PMG. Okay. Thank you, Joe. Any other questions for Mr. Fernaro or Mr. Courtney? This time, Mr. Lallo.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I do, throughout the holiday break, I was working on negotiating the collective bargaining agreement with the fire department. Still haven't come to an agreement yet on that. That's why it's not on your agenda just yet. Did meet with them. They want one more meeting. So hopefully after that meeting, we'll be able to come to an agreement and have something on the next agenda for you. I also wanted to address, I will likely have legislation on the next agenda for longevity pay. I think I mentioned it in one of the previous meetings, but the idea is to forego making the payments in January of each year and instead make it on the employee's anniversary date. So I know Mr. Mayor Potter and Mr. Slapnicker have addressed that or gone through that, and I think that is the intent is to move forward on that. Is that correct? Okay. Just making sure. And then that's all that's in the works right now. You do have two different pieces of legislation on the agenda relative to the law department. 2402 is relative to Mark Morong being appointed as assistant law director. I do ask that go to a second reading. Mr. Morong will be present to meet with council, planning and zoning, and BZA at the next meeting. So it'll be that joint meeting. I think that'll be a perfect time for him to meet with everybody. You could ask him any questions as well and go from there. But if you do have questions regarding that legislation, I'll be more than happy to talk to you about that. The last piece is resolution 24R-3. Again, noting that it's been in my contract to have the city pick up that 10% for the last 4 years. It's just I've never really asked for it or exercised that option. And in lieu of asking for any type of raise or anything this time, I do ask that council pick up that portion. As noted before, I think it was to the tune of about $25,000 that's been that I have not collected on or not asked to be collected on. So I do ask that that be approved. But if you do have questions regarding either of those, please don't hesitate to ask. And then lastly, regarding 24R-5, the inspection and maintenance agreement, I do ask that you modify that legislation to include the new, the updated agreement and exhibit that I had provided to you via email this around noon or 1 today. So aside from that, I have nothing further to add unless you have questions for me.
Any questions for Mr. Lallo?
Mr. Lallo, pardon me, I'm looking at this plat regarding that exhibit in the legislation, or we can talk about when we get there. It cites a parcel number, but I can't find that parcel number on the plat itself. Doug, is that
Said the exhibit cites a parcel number?
Exhibit A in the first whereas clause cites a parcel number, and I don't know if it's needed to have the parcel number on the actual plat itself.
Parcel number, I believe, refers to the original property before it was subdivided.
Okay. So, yeah, because we have the two different areas.
Right.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. All right, thank you. Fair enough.
Any other questions for Mr. Lallo? Oh, there she is. Ms. Zeri. Like to update us on the senior recreation center, please?
I have no official updates tonight, but I am open to any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Zeri? How was the, what kind of holiday things did you do? Anything going on with the holiday with the senior center?
Oh, so much. Yes. Yes. We had our annual Christmas party with 135 people. And that was, as always, a wonderful time. A random acts of kindness. Thank you again for everyone that participated in that throughout the month. Our seniors gave back by doing a giving tree that they supplied gift cards to the Kirtland Area Service Council, as well as Blizzard bags for Meals on Wheels. So we had a lot of opportunities to come together during the season. So now everyone's just trying to recover from the holiday season, get back into a regular swing of things. No one beat Councilman Ziegler and his wife in pickleball this year. I would like that officially in the record, Miss Raleigh.
Outstanding.
You're half of the age of majority of the.
A win is a win. That's
They're really good, Mr. Fenstermaker. I will officially invite anyone on council or administration to come play pickleball against the seniors during the day, just to see how you do.
Probably, I'll go play pickle.
Mr. Ziegler's absolutely correct. I used to play tennis when I was 35, 40. I got into it hardcore. I used to play this old gentleman, 75 years old. I was 35 at the time. He beat me like 15 times in a row before I finally beat him in singles. And he quoted, he goes, there was a gentleman who played Ivan Lendl and lost like 15 times in a row to me. He goes, nobody beats me 16 times in a row. That's the way I felt about it. So. Thank you much, Ms. Zeri. On to Mayor Potter.
Thank you, Council President Smolik. I will try to be brief. I have a fair amount of items here to cover real quick, but as been mentioned already, hopefully everybody had a wonderful Christmas and holiday season and a new year. Certainly, I'm looking forward to working with all of you in 2024. I had mentioned in the work session that Lewis will not be here tonight. He's closing out 2023 and opening 2024, so know that that's a fairly sizable effort, so certainly was okay with him missing this meeting. Lewis and I are going to be meeting this coming weekend to start kind of sketching out some budget scenarios as he, again, has worked through his 2023 closing and opening 24. Obviously, we have a lot to consider. We know that every year. This year is no different than that. Obviously, wages and buildings and equipment, roads, drainage. So we'll be working on all that. We'll be working on our debt calculations and, what's the attainable amount or the right amount to be putting toward our debt this year. Sure, and then also, always working on short and long-term financial strategies. So look forward to working with all of you and department heads on that. We'll be scheduling meetings with our department heads to discuss the budgets coming up after Lewis and I kind of do these first walkthroughs. In relation to, we've talked before about sewers and infrastructure. Joe Finaro, Eddie Eckert, and Doug and myself had a meeting with the county just last week in relation to the subject of extending sewers potentially up to 6 and 306 to start the groundwork for those discussions. So looking forward to hearing back from the county and Doug working on a couple of assignments to get us to the next step of at least a conversation. So thanks to all of them for that. Eddie and I have been working with some developers and or other business owners for some potential development and or business opportunities, both here in town center or downtown Kirtland, as well as 6 and 306. So thanks to Eddie for his help with that stuff. Kind of a fair amount going on related to that. And if anyone has any specific questions, feel free to ask me after the meeting. A lot of times in these situations, it's landowners and potential new property owners or businesses are kind of feeling each other out and working through these potential deals. So I don't typically bring specific names or businesses up and kind of in the public dialogue while it remains their private business. So we talked about 24-R-3 and hope the council will pass that tonight. That is in relation to Mr. Lallo's contract and the PERS pickup. I do want to thank Mr. Lallo here on the record tonight as in this council meeting over the last 4 years. I think it's about $25,000 that he did not collect from the city. I call it benevolence. I don't want to call it charity, but thank you, Mr. Lallo, for working these last 4 years without, that was in your original contract, but we did not finalize it in an ordinance to make that happen. So tonight I would ask the council going forward or passes that tonight so Mr. Lallo can start receiving that going forward. But thanks again to Mr. Lallo. And then we have 24-R-4 and -5 related to the Parks Farm subdivision. You do see that the Parks family is here tonight. And I've done this a couple of times, but I think more in planning and zoning meetings. Thank them for their large-scale investment here in the city of Kirtland. And I know that all the way through working with, whether it was on the legal side, planning and zoning side, or certainly with the city engineer and service director Finaro. They've just been fabulous to work with, and hopefully we can get those two pieces of legislation passed this evening. So the city can, this is, again, we talked about in the work session, this is more of a formality. They've met all the requirements to get us to this point, but I see no reason for a delay, so hopefully we can pass those this evening. And other than that, I did want to mention that it was brought to my attention here in the last few minutes that there's an article in the News Herald related to our illustrious senior center. So check that out. I think it's online. It'll probably be in print tomorrow. So it looks like, at a quick glance, looked like a good article, and thanks to Ms. Zari and everybody up there at the senior center for making it the place that it has become.
Thank you, Mayor. Any questions for the mayor? Not at this time. Okay, on to standing committee reports. No current standing committee reports, I believe. Mr. Fenstermaker's got the first standing committee meeting of the year set up. Correspondence. Ms. Raleigh, did I have anything correspondence-wise that I'm missing?
We do have the new residence permit on the 918th Street.
So, Mr. Council President, that is authorizing the permit for one of the residences in the Parks Farm subdivision because the street is not dedicated yet. So
This one right here?
correct. So
Okay.
if council agrees to accept the dedication in 24R4, then there's no need to proceed with that application. If council wishes to hold off on that legislation, then I would ask council to move forward on that permit.
Okay.
Yeah,
But we're,
that's not an emergency though.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Ms.
for
Raleigh
Marco
just-
Vucic
No.
and Courtney.
So yeah, Ms. Raleigh just informed me that
Cantor?
the 24R4 is not an emergency clause. So I would ask council to authorize the issuance of that permit on an undedicated street.
Okay, just want me to go through and read name, address,
Yep.
and then take a vote on it then? Okay. This would be for lot owner's name, Marco Vucic and Courtney Tentor, 10067 Parks Farm Road. 10067 or 87? 87. 10087 Parks Farm Road, Kirtland, Ohio, 44094. Type of structure, colonial. Name of subdivision, Parks Farm Subdivision, 2 acres, sublot number 9, to build a single-family home on a street that is not yet dedicated. Okay, need to,
Is there a motion
a
to
motion to approve?
approve and issue the permit?
So moved.
Mr. Clerk. Councilman Schultz and Councilwoman Grazia? Okay. Any questions or discussions? Ms. Raleigh roll?
Ms. Grazia,
Yes.
Mr. Hamer,
Yes.
Mr. Scholes,
Yes.
Mr. Smolik,
Yes.
Ms. Simons,
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler,
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's just a way the readings, right? No.
Okay, on to public comments on matters not on the agenda. We open up to the public. Any comments on matters not on the agenda? None? Thank you. Old business tonight? None. New business? At this point, we open up to the public comments on agenda items of new business. Anyone has anything to say on the new legislation that's proposed today? Not at this time. Thank you. On to resolution number 24-R-1, a resolution declaring intent to conduct internet auction for the sale of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit personal property of the city of Kirtland and declaring an emergency. Any discussion?
Motion to waive the 3 readings.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Raleigh?
Ms. Grazia,
Yes.
Mr. Hamer,
Yes.
Mr. Scholes,
Yes.
Mr. Smolik,
Yes.
Ms. Simons,
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler,
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker.
Yes.
Okay, now we need a motion to declare an emergency.
Motion declare an emergency and adopt.
Second.
Any questions, discussion? Ms. Raleigh, roll, please.
Ms. Grazia,
Yes.
Mr. Hamer,
Yes.
Mr. Scholes,
Yes.
Mr. Smolik,
Yes.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
On to ordinance number 24-0-2, an ordinance accepting the appointment of Mark B. Is it Morong? Yes. Morong proper pronunciation? As Assistant Law Director, establishing a wage and fee arrangement with Mark B. Morong and Maddie Henriksen and Grieve, and declaring an emergency. We're going to let this one go to a second reading, and
That is correct.
he will be available for us at the next meeting, and we'll get to introduce ourselves to him and him to us. Okay, on to resolution number 24-R-3, a resolution that the city of Kirtland will pick up the statutorily required contribution to the public employees retirement system for the Director of Law, Matt Lallo, as an employee of the city of Kirtland and pursuant to IRC section 41-4H2, and declaring an emergency.
Motion to waive the three readings?
A second?
Mr. Ziegler and Ms. Grazia. Any discussion? Ms. Rowley?
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Mr. Schulz?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
Okay, now we need a motion to declare an emergency and adopt.
Motion to declare an emergency and adopt?
A second?
Thank you. Any discussion? Ms. Rowley?
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Mr. Schulz?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
Okay, on to resolution number 24-R-4. A resolution, did I miss something? Matt?
No, I was just saying thank you.
Okay. No, thank
How dare you?
Thank you, Mr. Lallo. Done an outstanding job for the city. Resolution number 24-R-4, a resolution dedicating the street in the Parks Farm subdivision, which plat was previously accepted for for record purposes only. We just need a motion to adopt, correct?
It would be a waive three reading.
Oh, yeah, waive 3 readings, then just a motion, then we don't need a declaration of emergency. Get motion to waive the 3 readings first?
So moved.
Second.
Matt and Ron. Any discussion? Ms. Rowley?
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Mr. Schulz?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
So,
Motion to adopt?
thank you, Matt.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Rowley?
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Mr. Schulz?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
On to resolution number 24-R-5, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an inspection and maintenance agreement for stormwater best management practices with the Parks Farm Homeowners Association.
Motion to waive the three
Nope,
readings?
nope, not yet.
We wanted
We're
to
going to ask for a
modify.
motion to amend
Motion to amend,
the
to
resolution
modify.
to substitute the inspection and maintenance agreement and the exhibit with what was provided earlier today.
That was the 130 email from you today, right? With the updated version?
Correct.
So moved. I'm not gonna repeat that.
There you go.
Need a second on the so moved?
Second?
Mr. Ziegler, second. Any discussion? Ms. Rowley?
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Mr. Schulz?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
Now we're on to a motion
To waive the three readings.
to waive the 3 readings then.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Ziegler? Any questions? Ms. Rowley?
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Mr. Schulz?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
And now on to a motion to adopt.
Declare an
to
emergency and adopt.
No.
Oh, adopt, I'm sorry.
Motion to adopt.
Finally got you.
You did.
You correct me 1,000 times, I get you one time, so.
So Mr. Ziegler moved to adopt?
Yeah, I did.
Motion to adopt?
I did.
Second?
Julie second.
Julie second, okay. Any discussion? Ms. Raleigh?
Ms. Grazia?
Yes.
Mr. Hamer?
Yes.
Mr. Schulz?
Yes.
Mr. Smolik?
Yes.
Ms. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Mr. Fenstermaker?
Yes.
Thank you. On to council comments. Any comments?
I have a question. Did we get a list of what the committees are in the PDF? Did we get that and I didn't see it?
Yeah, that was an,
We did.
I'll forward it
It's in
to
the
you.
email.
That was approved, December, last, was that the second meeting in December or first meeting in December? Second
Second
meeting.
meeting.
Joe emailed it.
Okay, I'll forward it back over to you.
I lost it.
Okay.
So did
I believe, service yourself, it's myself, Ron, and Scott, I believe, still on that committee, except
You're
for,
in charge of some things, so you should.
except for Mr. Fenstermaker is chair for that one. Any other council comments?
Real quick, I don't know if we talked about it in the work session, but not in the council meeting, I don't think. Don't forget, we have our joint meeting after the council meeting, joint meeting with planning and zoning and BZA after the council meeting on Tuesday, the 16th.
Correct. Tuesday the 16th, we'll have our council meeting. It's delayed a day. We have Martin Luther King Day is that Monday. And then following that, we'll have the joint with BZA, planning and zoning. So everybody plan on obviously being for the meeting and then staying afterwards for the ball walk.
I know in the past, someone has bought pizza.
Yeah, generally a good pizza thing. They still won't allow us to bring beer in for it though. We could get that changed maybe, I don't know.
You're on the record and also on video.
Any other council comments? Any continuing concerns? Motion for adjournment?
No.
So moved.
no. There we go.
Motion. Second. All in favor?